Director of Ceremonies, Comrade Dariro. I hope I'm correct. In our absentia, the First Lady of the Republic of Zimbabwe, my dear brother, the President of the Republic of Mozambique, Engineer President Jacinto Nyusi, the Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable General Retired Dr. Sijiren Chwenga, Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Colonel Retired KCD Mohadi, the Minister of State for Harare Metropolitan Province, Charles Tabengwa, Honorable Charles Tabengwa, and Erika, Minister of Health and Child Care of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable Dr. Mombeshora, the Executive Director, United Nations Population Fund, Dr. N. Kanem, Executive Director, UNAIDS, W. Bwanyima, Society for AIDS and Africa and the ICASA 2023 President, Dr. Parenyatua David, other honorable ministers of health from Africa who are present here, the Chief Secretary of the President Cabinet, Dr. Shwaya, senior government officials who are here, Regional Director for Africa, World Health Organization, Dr. M.R. Moyeti, development partners who are here, distinguished conference delegates, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends. It is my singular honor and privilege to address you at this official opening ceremony for the 24th International Conference on AIDS and Sexually Transmitted Infections in Africa. On behalf of the government and people of Zimbabwe, I wish to express my profound gratitude for the opportunity accorded to Zimbabwe to host this very important conference for the second time. I hope you have found the facilities and arrangements suitable for a successful meeting. In view of the growing incidences of epidemics and conflicts, coupled with the negative impact of climate change, this conference is most opportune as it allows us to reflect on our ongoing responses to HIV and AIDS at both the continental and the global levels. The theme and record, AIDS is not over, address inequities, accelerate inclusion and innovation, end of quote, is a befitting reminder on the need to remain focused and avoid complacency. We must thus keep our eyes on the ball and consolidate the milestones we have achieved over the years. The 2022 report by the United Nations AIDS clearly reflects that AIDS continues to claim lives and is a call for continued action. Regrettably, new HIV infections continue to be prevalent among our people, and our women accounted for 63% of all new infections, while new HIV infections among adolescent girls and young women remain widespread in sub-Saharan Africa. We should never relax. AIDS is not over. The pandemic remains one of the silent threats to sustainable socio-economic development. It is, however, commendable that we have made progress and positive outcomes through our robust interventions, which are infusing the hope that we can indeed eliminate AIDS. Many countries in Africa, including Zimbabwe, have already achieved the 95 fast-track targets. This is applauded. Congratulations. In case of Zimbabwe, between 2018 and 2022, our country managed to reduce new HIV infections as well as AIDS-related deaths. We are committed to addressing the gaps and the inequalities that exist in access to HIV services to sustain this progress and push back the HIV frontiers to end AIDS by 2030. It is also critically important to ensure that both adolescent girls and boys, as well as young women, have unfettered and equal access to HIV services. Equally, there is need to address HIV/AIDS pandemic holistically, including through addressing matters to do with guaranteeing food security and nutrition of our communities, beginning at the household level. Let us therefore implement robust and responsive sustainable development programs and projects to lift more of our people out of poverty and eradicate inequalities that may be triggers to new HIV infections, especially among most risk groups. Encouraging early testing and promoting adherence to treatment, as well as fighting stigma and discrimination, remain key aspects to reversing silence and untreated infections. In addition, it is imperative to sustain focus on social and cultural practices that increase risk and exposure of women and children to HIV. Ladies and gentlemen, our success of ending HIV/AIDS by 2030 is imminent. It is encouraging that the Society for AIDS in Africa have responded to the urgent realities of the time and ever-changing health environment on our continent. I therefore commend you for expanding the scope of the conference to include discussions on key thematic areas such as pathways for leadership in HIV and AIDS initiatives, building resilience and sustainable HIV prevention programming, along with other emergencies and epidemics. The recent COVID-19 and ongoing threats of Ebola, as well as other tropical diseases, have taught us the need for integration of these and other responses, underpinned by the principle of universal health coverage. As a continent, we must harness our rich and diverse flora and fauna endowments through the deployment of science, technology, and innovation to establish a vibrant African traditional medicines pharmaceutical industry in our respective jurisdictions. We must, as Africa, never shy away from building on our rich African knowledge systems and God-given resources to have scientifically viable medical products and solutions for our own domestic communities. Through such an approach, we should reverse the high disease burden and the related mortality on our motherland, Africa. For us in Zimbabwe, our national development philosophy is in Shona, nyika inovakwa, igotongwa, igonamatirwa, never. I'll try to translate. This simply means that a country is built and it must be governed and it must be prayed for by its own people. As the people of this great continent, we must build our respective countries and proffer the solutions needed to address our own continental challenges. Others from elsewhere should come to help and complement us based on our own developmental priorities. Hence, the mantra, African solutions for African problems, must transcend to the manner we address epidemics and other existential threats to our nations. Intra-Africa collaboration must be deepened and partnerships with the private sector and development partners harnessed to leap forward our response. Dear distinguished delegates, conferences, meetings, and workshops alone are not enough if they are not backed by deliberate and concrete action plans to promote and achieve HIV funding sustainability. Here in Zimbabwe, the National AIDS Trust Fund has contributed over 30% of all our treatment needs and financed the various prevention and coordination interventions. We are available to share key lessons learned through this approach to this issue. Zimbabwe is open for business and ready to welcome investments, joint ventures, partnerships, and innovations for the manufacture as well as distribution of medical equipment, medicines, and consumables, among other requirements. Finally, on behalf of the people of Zimbabwe, I once again express our gratitude to the organizers, the partners, and the supporters of this conference for giving us the opportunity to host this event. I invite you all to explore our magnificent tourism destinations and attractions, which include the mighty Victoria Falls. But that is not its correct name. That is an English name. It is called the Mosio Tunya. The smoke that thunders. That is the correct name. But when we say, come and see Mosio Tunya, people don't come. But when you say, come and see Victoria Falls, they fly in. With these remarks, it is now my singular honor and pleasure to declare the 22nd edition of the International Conference on AIDS and STIs in Africa officially opened. I wish you all a memorable, successful, and productive meeting. God bless you all.